And you've hit the record button a couple of times already.
Well, it's recording right now, and I just have one thing to say. 'Cause we're long lost pals tonight till tomorrow and the rest of our lives. And there's nowhere in the
Oh,
world I'd rather be than here on this Zoom doing this show, me and
you
you.
know what? I told a girl that I wanted that played at my wedding, the wedding that'll never happen because I don't plan on getting married. I told her that I wanted that played at my wedding. She was like, "That's a really sad song."
First of all, okay. Well, first of all, welcome to Long Lost Pals. Um, I am a current victim of psychological torture in form of sleep deprivation, Joey.
What's up, guys? I'm Karrin, your favorite woman in STEM. That's what I am today.
Oh, very nice. Well, a couple of housekeeping notes. We are showing segments. But before we do that, there's a couple of things I got to get off my chest. One, I want to take this time to tell you that the song you did last week has been stuck in my goddamn head all week. I'll just be randomly chilling. I'll be like, Long Lost Pals.
It's catchy.
It is. So the second part of this is I want to challenge you that each episode will alternate who does a song. And then once we get a compilation of a whole bunch of them, we'll let one of our, hey, we're up to 33 followers now. We'll let our potentially more than 33 at this point vote on the song that's best. Are you ready to accept the
Okay.
challenge?
Okay. All right. I'm down with that. I'm down with that. Bet.
All right, and a few more things. Just nobody gives a shit about this, but just so y'all know, I spoke incorrectly last week. I said I was Homecoming King runner-up in 2009. That's a lie. We were out of high school. It was 2008, so nobody gives a shit, but just so you know. And I said runner-up, I think. And I don't know if I was technically second place. You know, people be lying. They get out of high school and they try to lie about how cool they were and shit or how good an athlete they were. I don't try to do that shit. So for all I know, I was fourth place, whatever place. I just didn't win is the point I was trying to make.
Bro, nobody is gonna pull your card on Klein Forest prom of
I'm
2008.
coming. I'm coming. Anywho, also my enunciation is trash sometimes. I am aware. We have COVID in this household right now. My 3-month-old is refusing to sleep for more than 30-minute increments. So I feel delusional. And if my enunciation is especially trash today or my brain doesn't work, I apologize. Let's get into our first segment. It's bottom five. Now, bottom five, what we do is instead of listing our top five favorite things, we list the bottom five of a given category. And this week, we are doing bottom five cartoon characters from television shows. That is the only criteria that I remember coming up with between the two of us. So, Corinne, I will let you start with your bottom five.
All right, so boom. Number one. Do you watch Gumball? The
Number
Amazing
five or number one? You get me
number
confused with this every time. So, like your least.
they're the same to me. All of these, this is the shit list, buddy. Okay. Whether we're going top to bottom or bottom to top. Same fucking list, the same fucking order.
I've
I
seen
don't know if
Gumball
it's
once.
one, I don't know if it's five. Amazing Adventures of Gumball. The father, Richard. I don't know if you've watched Gumball. The guy is a fucking imbecile. He's a moron. He's useless. The woman is literally like G.I. Joe on steroids. She can build a house with her hands. The father, he's like, he can't even tie his shoes. I'm like, sister, I don't know what you saw in this bunny rabbit when you procreated with him. She's a cat. I don't know how this happened. You should have fucking moved on. He's trash. Next.
Is he hot?
No, he's not. He
No.
is not. He's not.
He ain't got that shit going for him either. Yeah, no, all right, continue.
Daria Morgendorffer. Now, I like Daria the show. Very cool. The main character, kind of trash, actually. I revisited Daria in like my adulthood because I was like, ooh, classic Daria. You know, I hadn't watched it since like high school, probably. That was my shit. Turning on, I was like, damn, Daria's arrogant. She's kind of a bitch. She's like standoff. She like, you know, I mean, that's what you do when you're a teenager, but like she like kissed her best friend's boyfriend at one point. I was like, sister, you got the game. Like, you can't sit here and fucking be on your pedestal and your high horse and be like, I'm better than all of y'all, but then do some shade shit like that. Trash friend. Daria was not a good person. Next, we have Angelica Pickles.
Ooh.
Bro, Angelica, First of all, you're 10 years old bullying babies, literal babies.
He's like 3, but
Tommy literally cannot eat. He just learned to walk yesterday. Have you seen that man's legs? They're in the shape of a circle. He just learned to walk, and you're bullying him. Like, not even like, oh, you're like outside of like you're a dumb baby, which is kind of fucked
it's
up.
really mean. It's really mean.
Bro. Angelica was so trash. And then if anybody else tried to pick on them, she'd be like, "Excuse me, these are my babies to pick on."
God bless Susie Carmichael stood up for them.
Bad bitch of the year. Okay, anyways, number 4, Mr. Eugene Krabs. Bro, Mr. Krabs is so trash. He sold SpongeBob's soul. His soul for
That shit happened.
62 cents to the Flying Dutchman. Bro, what kind of fucking bro? If Mr. Krabs were real, he would literally be running the White House.
Oh, not him.
He has no, bro, he has no motivation other than fucking money. Mr. Krabs is fucking trash as a person. All right, number 5. Number
One.
fucking
Number one.
Number
Let me take
5,
that
number
pick.
1, the fucking winner is Helga Pataki
Oh,
from Hey Arnold. Look, sister, I'm all for bullying men, okay? I support it. I support you. But she's like bullying him, and then like 2 seconds later behind the corner, like, oh my love, I can't wait to like bitch, she's literally a psychopath. Like how you were talking about Sid from Toy Story. Ma'am, you need clinical help. Like you can't bully somebody because you like them. That's not what we're doing here. She was so fucking crazy and unhinged. Like, man, you have a shrine of this boy in your closet.
I'd have used gum.
You have a sister. Please seek help. That woman needs help. And her family wasn't that bad. She had like a regular. I'm just like, sister, you gotta. I, I'm sorry, Helga. You take the fucking belt. She was just terrible as a person. Any comment?
I think for one, I mean, what was Daria's last name?
Morgan.
That's what I
You were
was
like,
really bothered
hold
by.
on.
That was what I was really bothered. I didn't want to interrupt.
Morgan Dorfer.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. No comments.
Right, what you got?
All of those are fair. I aspire to have a pocketbook like Mr. Krabs because he runs a tight ship, and times is hard out here.
He
Uh,
got money, bro.
but yeah, if he's in the White House selling his secret sauce on a website. All right, my bottom 5. One of ours connects. You'll obviously make the connection when it happens. Everything else is very different, which I like. Number 5, I'm going Mr. Crocker from the Fairly Odd Parents. So that was the last cartoon I remember like actually watching and enjoying. And this fool is a grown ass man, a teacher obsessed with fairies. Look, dog, I'm all about like fantasy shit. I like Lord of the Rings. I like Harry Potter. I'm not like LARP. Like I'm not gonna go out and do like fake battles and shit. But if you're into that, whatever. But an obsession with fairies, getting a little weird, bro. Spending all your money on like equipment to try to catch fairies, and then your obsession with fairies is turning to an obsession with a child, which is problematic in itself. First of all, you shouldn't have a teaching license. We should have got that shit revoked. Second of all, like, bro, go on a date, go for a walk outside, like, find something healthy to do. Exercise, you scrawny son of a bitch. And then, like, I was looking something up about him, so I was trying to fact check, make sure I wasn't remembering shit. One of the first things Google is, why are Mr. Crocker's ears on his neck? Man's ears are right here, which is nothing to do with this. But yeah, weirdly
Nah, bro.
obsessive
Bro was beefed up with a 10-year-old.
over fairies. Anywho, yeah, get it together. Number 4, D.W. Reed, the younger sister of Arthur. So one thing that she did contribute to society is she is the reason that we have the Arthur Fist meme because in the episode Arthur's big hit, he punches the shit out of DW. And look, as somebody who has a sister, right? There's like a statute of limitations on the last time you and your sister can like resort to fisticuffs. It's just kind of a mutual understanding. You get to a level of age, and it's like probably shouldn't put our hands on each other anymore. It's kind of weird at this point, right? But To me, they were still in that age range where it was perfectly fine. She dumped that man's model airplane out the window. Bitch didn't even say I'm sorry and was just saying like, why didn't it fly? Well, why are you a dumb bitch? First of all, and why are you such a little snitch? She gives younger siblings a bad name. I'm a younger sibling. I happen to be awesome. So I don't know what her deal is. Always playing that crazy bus song that drives Arthur up a wall. I feel for my guy. DW Reed, number four. Number
Respect it.
three, Fred from Scooby Doo. First of all, bitch, who died and made you boss? Like, why is he bossing everybody around all the
No,
time?
no, because I actually almost put him on my list.
So, first of
He
all,
doesn't do anything. He
okay,
doesn't do anything. He has no investigative
don't steal
skills.
my thunder, first of all. Okay, you're making my points. Doesn't do shit. The epitome of get the A on the group project, right? First of all, like, who made you team captain? First of all, you break up these groups just so you can perv out on Daphne the whole time. Meanwhile, sometimes you take Velma to solve the whole mystery. You always pair Scooby and Shaggy together, the two biggest scaredy cats. Like, what makes you think that they're going to do anything productive? And then you're like the main one, like, hey, look what we did. It happens to be this guy. Like, fuck out of here, man. Like, what a fraud. He's the guy, like, if you have a lab partner that just doesn't do a damn thing, like I used to be the guy that couldn't pay attention to instructions. So at first I was a terrible lab partner. But you get me working, I'll get down and dirty. This boy Fred wasn't doing jack turds the whole time. So he's number three for me.
Bro, he's literally the worst leader. I don't know why that man took
Muscle
charge of
Pullman.
everything. He was probably the only one with a driver's license. That's probably why.
Boy just
Yeah. No.
took a C and etched it on his vest or whatever the hell he's wearing. This is where ours intertwine. Number two is Charlotte Pickles, the mother of Angelica Pickles. And here's why I'll tell you why. I come from an education background. I worked in education for 6 years, right? And you realize every kid that's doing some shit, not every kid, 9 out of 10 kids who are doing some shit, it's a result of their parents. Charlotte Pickles, I'll give you credit. Girl boss, whatever you want to call it. You a bad bee,
She's
CEO,
a
mega
bad
force.
bitch.
But maybe you should stop yelling at Jonathan all the goddamn time and pay some attention to your daughter. Because while you're neglecting her, she's over here calling babies dumb, doing this and that, 'cause you're not giving her any attention. And I got to tell you, a trend I've noticed growing up, people with money whose parents don't pay attention to them end up drug addicts. And because they have money, they end up doing the expensive drugs. So, Charlotte Pickles, you better get your shit together before Angelica starts looking all strung out like Cynthia. Because that doll was raggedy and that was her best friend because you're neglecting her. So, Charlotte Pickles, you're the reason Angelica is the way she is. You're the worst. Number one, I'm going Arnold Perlstein, aka the kid with the glasses from the Magic School Bus, aka I knew I should have stayed home today, kid. The ultimate wet blanket. So first,
Bro,
you've got the coolest teacher of all time. The biggest thrill of our lives in elementary school was when they'd roll out the goddamn box TV and we get to watch the Magic School Bus. You over here literally getting baked into a pie on the Magic School Bus. All you do is bitching the whole time, saying you wish you would have stayed home. Arnold is a worksheet liking SOB. I'm not with it. Arnold, you're ruining everybody's time. You're making nobody else have a good time. And on top of that, you're making me more and more envious. And I just wish I could switch spots with Arnold. He is my number one.
bro, I literally turned on the Magic School Bus this week. And I was like, wasn't there a redhead on there too? Because I was thinking about Chucky, and I was like, nah, even worse than Chucky is Angelica. And then I was like, wait, isn't there another like lame ass redhead on the fucking Magic School Bus? And I sure as hell did watch a couple of episodes of that, and I was like, he's a fucking contender, bro. So we are very much aligned on most of these things.
All
I
right.
get you.
Well, we're going to move on now to throw the beef back on the grill, which is where we take the time to, instead of being forgiving souls, to unforgive people or let people know that we never forgave them in the first place. And for me, I know I'm a former educator. I just stated that, but I'm attacking teachers again, and they should have been better. So my throw the beef back on the grill recipient this week is my preschool teacher. Don't remember what her name was, but let me tell you why. Let me tell you about a young lad and two of his chums on the playground at preschool.
Okay.
And you know what those chums and he are doing? He and they are doing? Putting
Nothing.
used cigarette butts in their mouth, acting like they're smoking cigarettes. So,
Joseph.
so at 3 years old, I'm over here getting a probably secondhand nicotine buzz off cigarette butts. First of all, who throws cigarette butts in a preschool playground? You're a terrible person, whoever you were, chain smoking cigarettes. First of all, or second of all, where was the supervision? Okay, we're doing this in my memory. I mean, I was little, so maybe it wasn't as long as I thought, but I feel like we were fake ripping heaters for a long time. So that's the problem for one. Luckily, my strong willpower and the DARE program, shout out to Deputy Parsley, scared me off hard drugs because I was trending in a negative direction very early.
Oh my
And the other reason I have a problem with this is I peaked too early. It doesn't get much cooler than a preschooler ripping ciggies. Like, you like have that kid that's always like the badass, got the leather jacket, smoking cigarettes in TV shows in like middle school. I was doing that shit in elementary or preschool, 3 years old. Got the butts. Also, could have got some kind of mouth disease. You know my thing about that from a few episodes ago. Freaks me out. So, where's the supervision? It's preschool. I shouldn't have access to used cigarettes. Thank God of the willpower and the strength that I have. Giving myself a little credit here. Throw the beef back on the grill with her, whatever her name was.
what the fuck is this childhood that you had?
And I'm not saying names of schools, even though you called out a high school. I was going to leave all these places anonymous, but just know every school I went to was in a Tetris piece. So there was one, and then there was one, and then all my schools were in a quarter-mile radius. So you can figure out what preschool that was back in 93 or whatever. So if it was you, ma'am, and you're still alive, I hope you start supervising kids better.
Literally never gonna hear this. Never gonna hear this.
But if one of our
All right,
three followers knows who she is, you can tell her.
let me tell you who I'm beefed up with still. The year is 2017.
Good year.
It was a great year. It was the best year of my life. I bought a brand new car. First big boy purchase of my life. That was, and I'm still driving that same car today. Paid that bad boy off. February of 2018, I buy a brand new car. November of 2017, excuse me. November of 2017. My car is not even a year old. I haven't even put 10K on this, on Lockhart. That's my baby's name. Haven't even put 10K on this motherfucker.
Name, but continue.
This man involved in, I don't even know what, gets in a shootout with somebody else. And this man gets shot. In an attempt to escape, he hops in his truck and he tries to drive away. Guess who's brand new, fresh off the lot shit he crashes into?
Was it Lockhart? Gilderoy?
It was Lockhart. Actually, he crashes into my neighbor's car. My neighbor's car hits mine. I hit my mom's truck. Boom. It took me 2 months of dealing with insurance companies for them to tell me, because I was like, does he have insurance? Just give me some fucking good news. Does he have insurance? They're like, yeah, he has insurance. Thank you, God. Now I'm dealing with the insurance companies for 2 months. The insurance companies ultimately come to the conclusion our driver was under duress. It wasn't his fault. It was the shooter's fault for putting all of this pressure on him to drive at an expedition. Whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying?
Expeditious works, I think.
Cops never caught the shooter. My beef lies with 3 people in this scenario: the driver, the shooter, the insurance company. Beef with all of y'all because my car still got that fucked up door. My door is still fucked up on my car. But you know what? It gets me from point A to point B. Lockhart is doing what he needs to do, okay? But that man, and even though he died on the scene, I am still beefed up with you, and I do not forgive you, sir.
Not from the grave.
I am beefed up with a man who's 6 feet under right now. I don't give a fuck. I'm never letting that shit go. You fucked up my first car. Fuck you.
That got dark really fast.
That's your childhood smoking cigarettes.
So a couple of things. Weird name for a car. That's the first part. The second part.
Hold on. Shocker. It's a movie reference.
Second of all, You are not going to believe what my boomer moment of the week is. I
Mm.
promise you. I promise you. Right hand to the man. We have 33 followers. That means like about 10 people listen and like
Bet.
3 people watch the clips. But right hand to the man. We don't plan none of this shit. So my throw the beef back on the grill. Oh, we're gonna get into our boomer moment of the week right now, which is a chance for us to complain about something that's pissed us off.
Did we just segue? Did I just segue you into this?
Yes, because my throw the beef back on the grill moment was going to be some no shootout involved, nobody dead. I'm not beefing with any dead people, I don't think, or wherever direction you went. I'm not beefing with any.
You
Um,
went to the hot place.
yeah, it was. But anyway, before it gets, good Lord, I hope karma doesn't exist because Jesus. Um, So I was going to do it, but I didn't know who the recipient should be. So my boomer moment of the week is, why is there not a solid method in play to handle car accidents and people getting reimbursed? Because let me tell you something. Back in around the same year, it was 2017 for me too. 2017 was actually a really bad year for me. I lied. It was
Which
not.
is funny because you said it was a great
As
year.
as a reflex, I say that as like a joke, but it wasn't a good year. Actually, I didn't like 2017. I think this is either beginning of 2017 or late 2016. I'm going out with some buddies downtown Houston. I'm not driving my car. Somebody else driving my car. This big ass truck comes by, hits us at a red light, dips out. So my buddy likes Fast and Furious. He thinks he's Dom Toretto. He was not going like Dom Toretto
Oh
speeds, but we're following this
no.
man. They end up getting away. We get the plates, right? And I was always told, you get in an accident, you call the cops. You let them sort that shit out, right? So we call the cops. We give him the license plate. He goes, "Oh, can't really do anything about that, but I can give you the man's address." So, first of all, police officer, you're going to risk me getting murdered by somebody or me murdering somebody because you don't know who I am at this point. You're going to give me where this person lives, but say that you can't do anything about him hitting and running me. So that's my first beef is, and my friends were like, let's go. I'm like, first of all, dude, we're in Texas.
Y'all are crazy as fuck.
I'm not dying over this little accident. I'll be fine. I'm not dying over this. So this happens. This was Saturday night. I drive back to Austin Monday morning at like 5 a.m. to go to work the next day. I used to stay the whole weekend and drive back. On my way back on 290, I get rear-ended. This is right after.
Shut the
So,
fuck.
so within like 36 hours, I get hit again. This goofy dude comes out of the car looking like a combination. How I remember him, Gustavo Frayne from Breaking Bad, a mix of him and Norbit, Eddie Murphy character.
What?
This
That's
fool hits
too
me, and there's traffic, and he's all like, "Hey, I got Geico. You have Geico? Oh, no problem at all. Like, we'll just figure this out." I'm like, "Cool, man. Police didn't do jack shit. Maybe I'll just go through the insurance company and I'll get my money like I deserve." A couple days goes by, haven't heard anything from Geico. I
no,
call him
you
like,
will
"Hey,
not.
I got in an accident with this guy. He hit my car.
Right.
Haven't done anything yet." Oh yeah, well, unfortunately he didn't answer the phone, and we can't really do anything when they don't answer the phone. All we can do is cancel his policy. Bitch, how is that going to help me? You canceling his policy? Guess what? I still got a beat up ass car from this dickhead hitting me. But because he's not answering the phone, it's now my problem? Like, how
That's
does this happen twice?
that's all I gotta do is not answer the phone.
And then I moved states a couple months later. Within that first couple weeks, a lady backs out of her driveway and hits me 3 times within like 2 months. This time I do call the cops. This lady gives me her insurance information. It ends up working out. I don't know if it's because of the cops or because this lady actually wasn't a piece of shit, but I end up getting paid and all my stuff gets fixed. But my issue is there's not a set in stone method that gets this taken care of. And the fact that like people tell you to do this or that and neither of them appear to work, that is my boomer moment of the week, that we don't have a strict protocol that when people are at fault, we are able to get automobiles fixed.
Okay, quick question. Was this all the same car?
Yes, I still have it. And the last accident that happened, I got enough money through insurance to fix all the problems. So,
Wait, that last one was the last one?
I
That
mean, no, I've gotten like my shit scratched up and stuff. That car has taken a beating. Like, I haven't gotten any accidents in that car that are my fault, but it just keeps getting beat up by other folks. But yeah,
okay. All
you're
right. All right, I got all right. When you order food, and I used to do it a lot more. I've scaled it back now. I'm trying to eat better. When you order food, are you a DoorDash guy, Grubhub guy, Uber
too
Eats guy?
expensive. No,
No? I feel you. I get that. When you got kids, you got to cut that shit out of your budget.
Yeah.
I do not have kids. So I order that shit. Probably I'm down to probably like 2 times a week. Wednesdays usually for sure. When you order that food and it says your food will be here between 6:15 and 6:42. They give you a window. When it's 6:40 and you ain't got no update on your food
Still pending.
and they start pushing that window back, motherfucker, my edible hit 45 minutes ago. You need to fucking feed me because if you don't, I'm going to be making a call soon. So my boomer complaint of this fucking week is when you order fucking food and the delivery window keeps getting pushed back. I'm too high for this shit. I need my food right now. I'll turn into look, my name is Karrin. I'll drop an R real quick. Where is the manager?
Grow
Sir?
your hair out, slick it to the side.
I'll part it, okay? All right, is it time for quick news? Because I'm done.
It is time for quick news. And quick news, we cover 4 news topics from the week. And this week we are going to get started with there was history on the Senate floor Monday night through Tuesday evening with one Senator Cory Booker. Karrin, do you want to explain exactly what happened to these folks?
Cory Booker stood on the House floor and spoke for a record-breaking 25 hours and 4 minutes. So he beat the last guy. He first of all, let me just throw it out there. He beat Ted Cruz. Woo! Big ups to that guy. The other guy that he beat, his name was it was Strummond.
Strom or something.
Strummond. It was like Strummond or something who went for 24 hours and 18 minutes. First of all, that guy was debating civil rights. So, if you can stand there and make history debating against segregation, you know what?
Before segregation.
This guy. Multiple records going on right there. But yeah, Cory Booker stood there on the House floor. I think it's like technically a filibuster, but it wasn't like wholly a filibuster. Anyways, you can't sit down or take a break. You also cannot go to the bathroom. So for 25 hours, he held his bowels. Shout out to him. And yeah, he really just stood there and railed on Trump for 25 hours, which, you know what? I could do that too. I'm not going to, but so I'm gonna let him have it.
I couldn't do anything for 25 hours.
I support his cause.
Not even
that's all I gotta say.
First of all, that Strom dude or whatever, like, yeah, you know how bad a person you got to be against civil rights in the first place, but to complain about it for 24 hours, you want to talk about the hot place. If you believe in those things, that man is a resident down there.
Did not take a breath. Okay. March Madness. We got 4 women's teams left. We got 4 men's teams left. The games are happening Friday and Saturday. Are you still 336,000th in place? Are you still?
Let's just say, Karrin, if there was a theme song to explain my bracket, you could choose 2. You could either choose "The Climb" by Miley Cyrus. You could do "Moving On Up," the Jeffersons theme song, because your boy is moving on up in the brackets, and it's "The Climb." So let me tell you a little something. My Final Four, my Elite 8, first of all, and the women's was correct, and my Final Four is still correct. So right now, let me tell you something. I might just quit my job and be a professional gambler and only gamble on women's college basketball. Because right now, I went from 66,571st place to 10,291st place. So I'm currently in the top 8%. So, you know what? Some of y'all might be like, that ain't shit. Well, bitch, tell that to the other 92%. And in the men's bracket, not nearly as nice. St. John's, like, bunch of bozos. They got eliminated early, kind of ruined my whole thing. So I got 3 out of 4 in the Final Four. But I did move from 352,694th to 2,343rd. This is hard to say. 234,587th. So I'm now out of 629,399. So if
this was the top, you went like this. Boop.
A little more than that, because looky here, pal. I went from I went almost up 120,000 places, and I'm now in the top 37%. So it's not top eight, but your boy's making moves. The hot damn hook'em horns, the ladies are still in it. I picked them to lose this round. I hate to say it. I like to be realistic though, but I hope they win the whole thing. That'd be dope. Florida's got this man. God, I blank on his name all the time. It's Clayton, and I forget his first name. This dude out here shooting like Steph Curry. U of H versus
Ooh.
Duke in the game, one of the games. People are like, "Are you rooting for U of H? You're from Houston." I kind of try to, but I kind of don't because I hold grudges over universities. Like there was times where UT was down bad, and I had bums from other schools messaging me like, "Oh, UT would lose to U of H, and UT would lose to Baylor." So now I hate Baylor, and I hate a lot of aspects of U of H, not because of the school, not because of where it is, because people ruined it for me. That was more football than basketball, but they're both cold. That's going to be a hell of a game. Auburn versus Florida going to be a hell of a game. The women's games, I'm excited. I'm on the come up. Next topic. Morgan Wallen was on Saturday Night Live as a musical performer, and he walked off during the credits, which is kind of unheard of and kind of rude. You want to talk about that?
First of all, he has a torrid history with SNL in the first place. And yes, okay. So at first, when I was like reading on it, and I was like, "Damn, what did he?" But I did watch the video, and he does, he acknowledges Mikey. They say, "Thanks for watching," blah blah
The
blah.
white guy
Then the then the credits start to roll.
didn't acknowledge Keenan.
Then the credits start to roll. He's out. But he does say, "Oh, it's nice seeing you," blah blah blah. And when I watch the video, I'm imagining he was probably like, "Hey, I got to get out of here." Like, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he had a jet. Maybe he had, schedule to keep.
Rich
So I'm
people
like, maybe he
problems.
just had to leave. He does leave prematurely. It does look very hasty when he leaves, which would have been okay on its own. Then he gets on Instagram, and everybody got to post a picture from their window on the plane. You got to do that. He posts picture from his view on the plane. Get me back to God's country. So now everybody's like, hold on, sir. What did you realize that SNL was hiring too much DEI? Like, is
Ooh.
there too much color and women on the cast for you that you were like, I gotta get the fuck
Not
out?
the women. Not Keenan. He's been there for like 30 years.
And they did ask Keenan, they were like, "Do you know what happened?" And Keenan Thompson was literally like, "I don't know what happened. Like, that was a crazy ass exit. I don't know why people do crazy shit like that." So nobody really knows what the source of that was, but it is peculiar. And he does have a history with SNL, and he also has a history with racism.
Hate to see it. Seven Summers was
which,
a banger.
which, and last night. But anyways,
Why do all
moving
musicians got to
on.
be trash human beings? God damn it. R. Kelly.
Trey Songz.
Yeah, let's. I'm getting
Trey.
sad now. Move on. Let's move on.
Yeah. No, we're moving on. We're moving on to Major League Baseball. Opening day was last week. I'm not a huge baseball fan, but I've been to a couple of fucking games, and they're a shit ton of fun to get drunk at. So, you keep up with baseball? What do you got going on?
I would say in terms of my totem pole of watching professional sports, football and basketball are way up here. Baseball is down here, but I like to keep up with it at least. Baseball games are probably my favorite actual live sporting event to go to. Something about it, like something about the baseball game, the crack of the bat in person. That's as American as apple pie looking ass. But yeah, opening day. The big news out right now is these torpedo bats. So I guess what they do is they beef up the wood in the sweet spots of people's bats. So wherever their sweet spot is, they beef that part up, and people have been hitting dingers. And let me tell you something. As somebody who's not a huge baseball fan, I love dingers. It's the best part of baseball, hitting jacks. So the more of those we're getting, the better.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that the Yankees, I hate the Yankees, they have five players using them the most right now, and they broke the record for most home runs for the first four games of a season with like 18. So these things seem to work. I saw the Stros supposedly got some ordered and are on the way, which is good because them boys can't score runs. We're jack turds, baby, and we need to get this offense going. So baseball season's amongst us. I got MLB Network this year. I'm actually gonna try to become a better baseball fan. I like it in the background. Something about it's nostalgic to me. And yeah, baseball season. Stros like 2-4, so just got swept by the Giants. Let's turn that shit around.
Okay.
A lot of games. All right, let's get into our recommendations. This is where we can recommend anything from movies, an activity, whatever the case may be. We have less than 5 minutes, Corinne. Just want to let you know. Because we're never going to pay for the paid version of Zoom. We're
Absolutely
free
not.
because if it's free, it's me, baby. Anywho,
Absolutely.
my recommendation for this week is so I had to babysit both. It's not babysitting because they're my own kids. I had to watch both my kids for like the first time for more than like an hour on Saturday. So if people don't know, I have a 2-year-old and a 3-month-old, and they gave me the goddamn blues for like multiple hours straight. And I put them to bed super late, right? Like I was trying my best, but the baby kept crying, and then the other one was just running amok because she knew I couldn't do nothing about it. So by the time I put them down, I was like, you know what? I've had two screens set up in here for the longest, and I finally got some two screen time on the smaller TV. My TV from college that cost me $250 in 2009, still kicking. I was playing the Switch, Super Mario RPG, and on the bigger screen, I had the Final Four games going. If you have the capability to access two screens at once, it is an incredible experience that I think everybody should get to enjoy, whether it's TVs, two TVs at once, whether it's video games and a TV, whatever the case may be. Again, my TVs aren't great. They're kind of trash, but it was still a lovely experience. Corinne, what you got?
All right. Okay, you know what? I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do movies for my Ricks from now on, honestly, just because it's that's kind of my bag, you know. Today movie was mentioned to me. It's pretty popular. I think it came out in '07 or '08. It's called Deja Vu with Denzel Washington. In my opinion, it's a top three Denzel.
Big
I
claim.
recommended it to my coworker. I own it on DVD. I'm actually about to let him borrow it. Action thriller. On top of Denzel, you got Paula Patton. You got uh uh the late Val Kilmer, which is what spawned the conversation. R.I.P. to that man who
He
was
died
in
today.
Batman. I think this morning. Yeah, either this morning or yesterday night.
RIP, one of the worst Batmans, though. Continue. We're running out of time.
Anyway, Val Kilmer's in it. Denzel's in it. Action adventure. I don't want to give too much away. It is like a time loop kind of movie, which I love. Can't recommend it more highly. Go watch Deja Vu.
I don't think I've ever seen it. Underrated Denzel movie, though. John Q. That might be my favorite.
Nobody underrates that, bro.
Everybody underrates that. Nobody ever talks about John Q.
Bro, John Q is a
Ever.
banger.
A banger. Oh, man. What a
Now
great
tell
movie.
me, I fuck with it.
Yeah, people need to watch that. Well, this wraps up another episode of Long Lost Pals. Thank you if you're listening. Thank you to people who followed us. We appreciate any love and support we get. People who share us on their stories. That is a kind thing to do that nobody expected you to do. So shout out to some folks for doing that.
Real ones.
And yeah, that's all we got. We're gonna end with wise words from an indecent woman. Or wise word is that was that that's another Drake line too. We give Drake too much.
Decent, bro. What are you
Oh,
talking
did you say
about?
indecent or decent in the song? He goes, wise. I think it's wise words from no, that's a J. Cole line actually. So a line from J. Cole, wise words from an indecent woman, but she's a decent woman, I suppose. Depends on who you ask. Stay fly. We're out.